The man who destroyed Michael Jackson. Holy shit, this guy looks evil as fuck. Like, this is the kind of face I imagine that let's say a Titan from Attack on Titan came out in real life as a human. This is the face I would imagine.
If at 5 years old, kids are scared of monsters under the bed, then Michael Jackson had a real one. His name was Joseph Jackson. He turned his son's childhood into endless rehearsals where every mistake was followed by a beating.
How often would he beat you?
Too much.
Would he only use a belt?
Why do you do this to me?
There was never any fatherly warmth coming from Joseph. In his house, the word dad was forbidden.
And he didn't allow us to call him Daddy. And I wanted to call him Daddy so bad.
Okay, this is
He
getting
said,
uncomfortable.
I'm not Daddy, I'm Joseph to you, you know?
God damn.
Joseph deliberately broke
Like, there's been times where I was scared of my dad because he was, about to whip my ass, and I deserved it, by the way. He's a great dad, just so you know. I'm still, close with him. But if my dad ever told me, yeah, you never tell me dad again, yeah, I think my childhood would be fucked.
Parent-child bond, so it would be easier
I
to
can't
control
imagine
and
that.
use his kids as performers. He was obsessed with money and career, seeing his sons as a way to live out his own failed dreams.
Yep, you see this a lot. That's an evil face.
No, put it like they have a good relationship with me.
But I don't have a good relationship with them.
In the 1950s, Joseph, along with his brother Luther, formed a blues band called the Falcons. He played guitar and genuinely hoped to become a professional musician. The group never managed to land a recording contract and eventually fell apart.
Yep, a lot of the times these kinds of people become dads, and then all of their frustrations from all their failures, they all just put them on their kids. They want their kids to become something they wanted to be and they never did. And they do it in very harsh ways. Like, goddamn, you can help and guide your kid as long as the kid wants that stuff, but this is next level shit.
Joseph had to give up on his dream and go work as a crane operator at a steel mill to support his large family. By the 1960s, the older sons, Jackie, Tito, and Jermaine, had already started secretly taking their father's guitar. When Joseph found out, he formed a group called the Jackson Brothers. When Michael was 5 years old, his mother, Catherine Jackson,
I didn't know about
noticed
any of
how
this.
beautifully he could sing. She asked Joseph to listen to him. Joseph didn't want to listen to his wife for a long time. For him, Jermaine was the lead of the group, period. But Catherine saw what the father manager kept refusing to see. She practically forced Joseph to listen to his youngest son sing. Reluctantly, he agreed, and in that very moment, his plans for the family changed forever. Michael became the center. But if for his mother, it was the discovery of a God-given gift, for his father, it was the discovery of the perfect working tool. To turn them into superstars, Joseph literally trained and beat his children. He would sit in a chair in the middle of the room, a leather belt always in his hands. If any of the brothers slipped out of rhythm, messed up a move, or hit a wrong note, the belt would come down immediately.
Go back. You just said that you would practice the dance steps and your father would be holding a belt in his hand. Is that what you just said?
Yes. And he would tear you up if you missed.
God damn.
And so we, not only
Insane.
were we practicing, we were nervous rehearsing because he sat in the chair and he had this bell in his hand.
God
And if you didn't
damn.
do it the right way, he would tear
It's
you
like this is the type of shit I imagine somebody that has done horrible crimes in a coal mine, in a I don't know, a jail guard next to the coal mine, looking at all of the criminals with a belt or with a metal bat, telling them to work unless they're gonna get beaten up. This is the type of shit I imagine to criminals.
really get you.
However, in reality, Joseph Jackson didn't just use a belt to inflict pain on his children.
Throw you up against the wall as hard as he could. He would lose his temper. I just
That is
remember
insane.
hearing my mother scream. Joe, you're gonna kill him, you're gonna kill him, stop it, you're gonna kill him, you know, and I was
The neighbors never heard. I mean, I don't know where they lived, but nobody heard it and called some authorities.
fast, you know, he couldn't catch me half the time, but when he would catch me, oh my God, it was bad.
And it wasn't just the boys who suffered. The girls got it too.
One occasion you cite when you're getting out of the bathtub and he whacks you.
I've never seen this guy young.
How old were you then?
He hasn't
I was
changed.
very young.
Good for him.
I remember being younger than 8. Let me put it like that.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
Oh.
And I can't remember what it was that I did. I can't remember if I truly deserved it. But my father's never touched me aside from that
that's
time.
so sad.
He's never whipped me.
But he did the boys quite a lot. He was quite
Yeah.
physically disciplinary.
What's even more striking is that Michael Jackson was already talking about the physical abuse from his father as early as 1979. But back then, no one could imagine how serious it really was.
If he hit me, I would hit it back, which was terrible. And they
I mean, I don't blame him. Like, you imagine being physically abused by your dad and you're a little kid. Yeah, you're gonna. I would get her up with all of my siblings and try to protect each other as a group. I don't know what I would do. Tell the cops. I don't know.
But I would really get it.
Your brain doesn't really function like that. And thinking of all of the obvious choices you should do in that kind of a situation, like you would do as an adult.
Than anybody.
Around the time, he had a deeply personal conversation with LaToya Jackson, where he said he wouldn't miss Joseph if he died.
He
Damn,
used to play this game with me all the time.
insane
And say,
statements.
Latoya, tell me
But
the truth.
don't
Joseph
blame him.
died. Would you care? Would you cry? And I would say, why would you say that, would you? He goes, you answer first. I go, no, you answer. He says, no, I could care less. I wouldn't cry.
When he was beating you, did you hate him?
Yeah. Strong hate.
What the fuck are these dumbass questions? Did you hate your abuser?
Physically harmed him.
Never have.
Still, sometimes these kinds of like investigations or just questions or just interviews are the dumbest things possible. They just want some reaction from the guy to make him cry or something to get views. Like, this is an old ass interview, and the same evil rules still apply.
And I raised him just like you would raise your kids, you know.
Uh-huh.
But harm
Yep.
Michael for what? I have no reason. That's my son. I loved him.
Say, let's get into this beating thing. There's no such thing as beating a kid. You
Whoa.
whipped them and punished them for something they did. And
Whoa.
they will remember that. So
I wanna know how he was raised then.
remember in such a way they wouldn't do it again. That's the way I was.
The bruises from the belt healed, but Joseph's words cut much deeper. When Michael hit his teenage years, he developed acne, and his facial features started to change. For most fathers, that would be a moment to support their son. But
Yeah.
not Joseph.
That's normal.
He chose the most painful target, Michael's nose. He constantly mocked him, calling him Big Nose, and openly saying, "In our family, we don't have ugly ones like that. You're not one of us."
Is it true that your father used to say
And
you had a fat nose?
Is that why his nose is like
What did he
this?
say? What did he
And his
actually
whole
say?
face?
God, your nose is big. You didn't get it from me.
That's when a
So is he bashing his mom? Is he bashing his own wife? So he's bashing his son for having a huge nose, and he says, you didn't get it from me, you got it from your mom. You know, indirectly, you know. Then you're telling that the woman you married is ugly.
took root in Michael's mind.
What?
My face is a problem.
God
He later
damn.
admitted to friends that he had surgeries because he couldn't stand seeing his father's face in the mirror.
I wouldn't want to look in the mirror.
Really?
And my father teased me, and I just hated it. I cried every day because of it.
Your father would tease you about your
Yes,
pimples?
he would tell me I'm ugly.
Your father would say
Yes,
that?
he would. Sorry, Joseph.
And why is his voice like that? I never knew. I never found out why his voice is like that, and I've never researched
But
about
Joseph didn't stop. One night, he decided to teach his son another lesson. While Michael was asleep, his father put on a terrifying mask climbed through the window into his room and woke the child up with a wild scream.
Not gonna lie, this is the type of shit I would do as a little kid to my cousins. But I was a little kid. And I would get beaten up by my dad if I did this. This is insane by a dad.
He wanted to prove that
this is how you traumatize your child for their whole life and fuck them
window
up
should
mentally.
never be left open. But instead of discipline, he gave his son lifelong panic attacks. For years, Michael had nightmares about being kidnapped from his own bedroom. When Michael turned 21, he refused to renew his contract with his father. Up until that point, Joseph had full legal control over his career as both guardian and manager. Michael hired lawyers and consultants who delivered the official documents to Joseph. He couldn't tell him in person. He was terrified of his father to the point of nausea.
I don't think he realizes to this day how scared. I mean scared. So scared that I would regurgitate.
You would vomit.
Either this guy was mentally ill, and he actually thought that there's no such thing as beating your kids and this is normal, or he had some kind of again, mental illness where he had a fetish to do this.
Mm-hmm.
A fetish is a wrong
When
word.
would you vomit?
I don't know.
What would produce
What do
that
you
sort
call
of
this?
reaction in you?
His presence, just seeing him. And sometimes I'd faint, and my bodyguards would have to hold me up.
And Michael said in a recent interview that he was frightened of you. He says that he was so frightened of you sometimes that he would be sick. Is that true?
I mean, looking at that face, I think most people would be frightened of him. I don't think he needed to wear a mask. Like, if he crawls up and, you know, from my window, he doesn't need a mask. His face is scary enough, and, you know, I'll start punching.
I just knew about that.
I won't know what to do.
TV on Oprah Winfrey show. I didn't know anything about him being sick, but regurgitating. But if he did regurgitate it, he regurgitated all the way to the bank. You know.
What do you mean?
I mean, by me being strict with him a little bit, and it made him a superstar.
Joseph hated Michael's team, especially the
Bro
lawyer
is praising himself that he's the reason for him becoming a superstar.
John Branca. In the 1980s, he would often publicly call his son's professional advisors crooks who were stealing money from the family. He tried to convince Michael Jackson to return to family management. Michael understood that professionals were protecting his interests, while his father was only protecting his own.
Yep.
The only real way Joseph could
I mean, he did this to Michael, like he wanted Michael to be, or whatever his first son was, to be this huge star, because he wanted to be this huge star. So, outside looking in, you might say, oh, he just wanted his son to succeed. But yeah, but that's not how you do it. And if you look into it, you know, a little bit deeper, it was all because of, you know, selfish reasons, because of self-interest. That's it. He wanted to be this. He never became this. So now he's going to destroy his sons' lives and his daughters' lives to become this.
The pressure his son was through the group.
We see this a lot with dads being overly obsessed with their kids, you know, succeeding in sports and the other stuff. Not just sports, in certain subjects or fields as well.
The Jackson 5. When Michael became a global superstar after the release of the album Thriller, Joseph used emotional manipulation, convincing him that he owed the family and had to support them. So when, in 1983, a $5 million deal with Pepsi was offered, Michael agreed, despite not wanting to, under pressure from his family. That decision led to devastating consequences. During the shoot, his hair caught on fire. He suffered second and third degree burns.
I didn't know about this.
It was after this incident that he became dependent on strong painkillers, a dependency that would later destroy him. But Pepsi wasn't the only thing Joseph wanted. He pushed for a tour with the Jackson 5, and of course, with Michael as the centerpiece. Joseph knew Michael no longer listened to him, so he used his secret weapon, Katherine Jackson. She came to her son not with demands, but with a mother's request. Help your brothers and go on stage with the family. For Michael, who always wanted to please his mother, saying no was almost impossible.
So basically just manipulation from the mom as well.
Again,
God damn.
He agreed to sacrifice himself. From the very beginning of organizing the tour called Victory, it was clear this wasn't about music, it was about money. A lottery system for tickets was introduced. To get a chance to attend the concert, fans had to send money in advance, about $120 for the chance to buy 4 tickets. If you didn't win, you had to wait up to 8 weeks for a refund. All the brothers were on board, except Michael. He understood this would damage their reputation and push fans away, especially those who simply couldn't afford
imagine a content creator, a YouTuber, imagine Mr. Beast doing this these days, about whatever video concept he may be. I mean, he's already had a lot of, call-outs by a lot of people, and he is, for a lot of people, he already has a horrible reputation, but some content creator that already has a good reputation and does this, they would just nuke their fucking content career.
Those conditions. Later, after a
like cancel culture didn't exist back then,
the situation took an unexpected turn. An 11-year-old fan, LaDonna Jones from Texas, wrote Michael a letter. She said she had been working small jobs to save $30 for a ticket, but couldn't afford to buy 4 at once as the rules required. In her letter, she directly called the Jacksons selfish and greedy for money. That letter hit Michael hard. He called a press conference and announced that the ticket system would be changed. More than that, he said he would donate his share of the profits to charity. When Michael made his statement, Joseph and his brothers were visibly shocked. They didn't expect him to publicly walk away from millions of dollars Joseph planned to use to expand the family brand. But at that point, Michael didn't care about their opinion anymore. This lottery had seriously damaged his reputation. As the group's main star, he became the primary target of criticism. All the hate was directed at him. While Michael was being accused and dragged through the mud, the fans' money was sitting in Joseph's bank account, generating interest that he profited from. Michael had had enough of his father's schemes, and during the final concert of the tour in Los Angeles, he stepped on stage and announced that this performance would be the last for the Jackson 5.
I'd like to say this is our last and final tour, and I think this is our farewell tour. Y'all been wonderful. It's been a long 20 years, and we love you all.
That statement sent Joseph Jackson into a rage. By the end of the tour, Joseph and the promoters were already deep into planning a...
This old fucking hack of a guy. Haven't you already made multiple freaking millions? God damn. Start some kind of they probably had other businesses and companies, most likely, right?
European and Australian dates for 1985. They were expecting to make tens of millions more, riding the wave of Thriller. While Joseph was mentally counting the profits from future shows in Europe, Michael Jackson wiped out all of his plans with a single sentence. This wasn't just leaving the group. It was a triumphant escape from his father's control in front of the entire world. And backstage, things exploded between them. Michael told his father directly.
Not gonna lie, if I was in this situation and this happened in front of me, I would love to see this guy's face, like this guy's face of disappointment, and I would enjoy myself so much watching that chaos.
It's over, Joseph.
I mean, I would feel sad for Michael, yeah.
Over Michael's career, Joseph launched his own label, Ivory Tower International Records. He tried to push other artists and his younger children, but none of those projects came even close to Michael's level of success. To keep making money off Michael, Joseph often used the Jackson family name for questionable business ventures, like attempts to launch perfumes or food products under the family brand.
Of course.
Michael usually distanced himself from these projects and from his father as well. Over time, that distance turned into strict boundaries. At his Neverland Ranch, Joseph wasn't allowed to show up without an invitation. Michael's security had clear instructions. Do not let his father in without approval. For
that
formality,
is insane.
Michael would host
this is just making me more and more grateful and thankful for having the dad I have. Yeah, I'm not rich. He's not rich. He didn't make me ultra rich. But goddamn, he was like, when it comes to like what I've heard out there, what kind of people there are out there, he was a great dad. Same with my mom. They're not perfect, but I'm not searching for perfect. Nor do I believe that there's perfect out there somewhere. Okay? Maybe that's based on somebody's bias on what perfect means. But he gave me a stable mentality, helped me out financially, and taught me how to be a well-functioning member of society. Okay? All of you guys watching this, call your parents and say thank you.
Joseph Jackson Day once a year,
I'm not joking,
inviting the whole family to the ranch. The final blow for Joseph came when Michael completely cut him out of his will. In 2002, when Michael was 43, he quietly finalized his will and divided his estate like this: 40% to his...
And imagine, what if Michael started, he hasn't mentioned this so far, but what if Michael started, just continued, but on his own? He would probably be making more money. He would probably, capture of the audience that all these new record labels and musicians that his dad was hiring. He would probably, capture and, I guess you can call it steal some of their audience back to him, because most people loved him for him, not for his dad and that whatever record labels he had. So would then his dad do something along the lines of, I don't know, something to do with the law, something to do with lawsuits or something? I don't know. Like, this is how insane people work,
Children, Prince, Paris, and Blanket. 40% to his mother, Katherine Jackson. 20% to charity. Joseph Jackson's name was completely absent from the document.
Yep,
Michael even named Diana Ross as a backup guardian for his children. Not his father, not his brothers. Michael was very calculated. He knew Joseph might try to pressure Katherine to get money through her, so he structured her share as a lifetime trust. Katherine received a monthly allowance for living expenses, but she didn't control the core capital and couldn't legally transfer it to Joseph or funnel large sums into his business projects. When Michael tragically died in 2009, Joseph realized he'd been left with nothing. He filed a lawsuit demanding a $15,000.
I knew it! I didn't know about this, but this is even more tragic than what I said.
Monthly allowance. He argued that Michael had supported him financially during his life, and that, as his father, he was entitled to part of the estate.
Such an evil bastard.
John Branca and John McClain proved that Michael had intentionally excluded him from the list of beneficiaries. So, when the ruling was delivered, the judge stated, Joseph Jackson receives nothing from this estate. That was his...
Like, if you were one of the siblings, and you know this, and let's say your dad's struggling, and he's your dad, you're in this situation, but you're one of the siblings, because it's your dad, it's your biological fucking father, you've got one, would you still, just minimally, financially help him just to survive the month?
Son's decision.
What do you think? What do you say?
The saddest part...
Me? I don't know. I really don't know.
Is what Joseph said after Michael's death. That he missed watching him perform on stage. Not his son, but the performer, first and foremost.
He never saw him as his son. He always saw him as the money-making machine he was.
It has been really tough.
As I said.
Remember, we just lost the biggest star in the world, superstar in the world, so it's been tough.
This interview was recorded just 3 days after Michael Jackson died, on June 28, 2009. Instead of speaking only about his son, Joseph Jackson used a live broadcast on CNN to promote his new label.
What about Janet and the rest of the family, the daughters and everything?
They're all doing fine, but I want to make this statement. This is a real good statement here. Marshall and I we owned a record company called
Ranch Records.
Right.
Okay, it's distributed by Blu-ray Technology. And that's his
Oh my god, Blu-ray. Holy shit, I haven't heard of Blu-ray in so many years. I don't miss it.
A few days later, while people were once again mourning Michael, Joseph started talking about his label again. And it sparked outrage.
Oh god, every single event that was involved around Michael Jackson, he tried to just make whatever business venture he was doing more and more public, so more and more audience, more and more of our audience can hear it and potentially, buy into his shit. He never cared about, or actually mourned a little bit, about his son dying. Like, the statement, I miss seeing the performer he was, not the son not the son I had. I'm not religious, but if God exists, I want to question him. Why? Why do you create people like this?
Young fans.
I mean, he's not he was evil, but there's way more evil people that existed. We know, okay? But god damn it, man.
What I'm doing is I established a record company with Marshall, and the company is called Marantz Records, distributed by Blue Star and Blu-ray. Yeah.
Typical Joe Jackson.
Yep, people
I
know.
can see why Michael was at a distance from.
I think the fans more than anything want to focus on Michael. We don't want to hear the negativity. We don't want to hear anybody plug in their record label. We don't want to hear when his albums drop.
Yep.
Despite his phenomenal business instincts, he never learned the most important thing: how to be a father. Between him and his children stood a wall that couldn't be broken by success or by tears. This was most clearly seen during one TV show with LaToya Jackson. She sat across from him, crying, trying to explain how much she lacked his love, how much it meant to her just to hear a kind word.
And you would truly understand and know how I feel. I care about you so much, you have no clue.
Yeah, she's got a
But
good
Joseph
heart.
just looked at her with an empty, glassy stare.
Yeah,
There was no-
he's a sociopath, okay? Maybe he was a undiagnosed sociopath. I'm pretty sure, like, these kinds of people that are just way overly obsessed, you know, being at the top, performing the best, you know, destroying all the competition, doing it, you know, maybe, or a psychopath, probably more of a psychopath. Just going to the top, destroying the competition, not giving a fuck about what other people think and say, and their emotions, like having zero empathy. And treating your children like this, just purely to make them money-making music machines. Yeah.
Empathy in his eyes. No understanding. He simply didn't know what to do with his children's genuine emotions because he had never truly experienced them himself.
Bro never experienced them himself, so he was a psychopath.
In his memoirs, he described his own father as harsh and authoritarian. He called
Uh-huh.
himself a lonely child who had
Or
few
maybe,
friends.
so psychopaths are born, sociopaths are, you know, created. Maybe he was created by his dad, and his dad maybe was the same way.
It's because of the rigid discipline at home. That's why Joseph justified his own cruelty by saying that this was how he was raised, and that it was the only way to make children turn out right and keep them off the streets.
Well, I'm glad I was tough. Because look what I came out with. I came out with some kids that everybody loved all over the world. And they treated everybody right.
He doesn't even think twice about, like, a real parent. I'm not a parent, but a real parent would say, I created and raised kids that are happy and healthy and thankful for what I did, and I'm very happy that I did it in the right way, and I'm close to them. They love me, I love them, and they're happy, and they're living beautiful lives. No, this guy is saying, look at the type of kids I created. The people loved them, the money they made, the fame they've built up. Yeah.
But those brutal methods of upbringing left an unhealed wound in Michael Jackson's soul. And until the very end of his life, he remained that same frightened 5-year-old boy.
Yeah.
I recommend watching the next video. The full
Yeah.
story
Well,
of the kid.
amazing fucking video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. I knew some stuff about this. I knew he was brutal. I didn't know about all of this. So, partially, like, I never know. I can't say this for sure. I might get hate. Maybe he was partially, you know, the reason why Michael became as big as he was, or he would always become that big. We don't know that. We can't, you know, go back to history, go get a time machine and change something. But maybe he would become the guy he became, but also be a little bit healthier, be a little bit closer with his family, and maybe he would still be, I don't know, or maybe he would at least live for longer, or still be alive, you know? Is Joe Jackson still alive? Let me see. How old Joe Jackson? He died in 2018. Okay. If Joe Jackson was still alive today, with today's internet culture, I don't know, I think there would be way more videos made on him. Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comments. Have a nice day.